largest species of tortoise in the entire world. How many of you guys agree she's a big tortoise? Raise your hand. She's very big. You guys want to hear a funny story about her? Well, when she came to Forgotten Friend Reptile Sanctuary, her owner said, "Hi, this is our pet turtle. His name is Bill, and he got too big." So he was getting too big, so they couldn't keep him. And so we took him in, we put him in the tortoise area, but we thought Phil was a boy. So pretty soon, Phil started digging a hole. He put his hiney right in the ground, stayed that way for a couple hours, and then what do you think we found in the hole? We found like 8 ping pong balls. There was like 8 ping pong balls, and then we opened up one of the ping pong balls, and it was all gooey. There was like this yellow thing and all this clear slime. Well, you don't think those were ping pong balls? Well, they were about the size of ping pong balls, but you're right, those were eggs. We didn't actually crack them open. They were tortoise eggs, but actually they weren't just tortoise eggs because they were laid on Easter Sunday. So you know what kind of eggs they would have been? They actually were Easter eggs. And now you guys know the Easter Bunny is really a tortoise. That's a secret, don't tell anyone. So she's probably about 5 or 6 years old. But have her pretend you're holding a ping pong ball. Because she started about the size of a ping pong ball. Now stretch out your arms and show me how big would you guess she could grow one day? About 3 feet long. About 200 pounds. So they do get very big. In fact, my friend in Arizona, where we send our tortoises to retire, they just built a new sulcata tortoise area out there in the desert. We just posted some pictures of that on ForgottenFriend.org, and you can see just how big they get. Now, today, guys, you're going to meet a lot of animals. Do you think it's safe to touch every animal? No, we're not allowed to let you guys touch every animal ever since that one incident. But don't worry about that. Okay, we're never going back there, it's okay. We didn't really like that library. No, I'm just kidding. We've never had any incidents, but just to be extra safe, we don't let you guys touch all the animals, but who thinks it would be fun to touch at least one of the animals today? Everyone say hi to Sunny. What is this here? This is Sunny's skin. Now, I showed this to Miss Nina. What was he doing as we set up for the program, Miss Nina? He was shedding his skin. Does he look beautiful right now? This is as nice as he ever looks right after he sheds his skin. So that's Sunny. Here we have Steve and Courtney.
Oh, wow.
I've got one more in here. Here we have Fred.
Fred.
Now, these snakes are the corn snakes. Would anyone like to touch a corn snake today? Well, here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm allowed to ask for one volunteer to show us how it's done. Oh, boy, so many good volunteers. How about right there? Would you like to be my volunteer? All right, come on up front here. We're going to meet our volunteer. Would you like to walk up here? Now, boys and girls, let's meet our volunteer. Hey, son, what's your name? Jensen. Everyone say good morning to Jensen, please. Hey, Jensen, could you wave hi to the audience? Jensen, how old are you, buddy? You're 3 years old? That's great. My son is 2 years old. He started looking for snakes in the wild when he was 1 year old. Do you think it's fun for a 3-year-old to touch snakes? And again, well, let me ask you first, Jensen, if you would see a snake in your backyard, is it okay to touch it?
No.
No, only at this special show, or if you have someone there helping you. But here's what you can do. You can pet the snake's tail. Would you like to try that? Jensen, how does that feel, petting the snake's tail? Does that feel nice? Does that feel kind of different? Do you think the other boys and girls would like to try that? I think so too. Let's ask these boys and girls, do you guys think Jensen's doing a great job being a helper? Well, Jensen, I appreciate you being my helper. Let me give you sort of this stuff. We have some hand cleaner for you. This will keep your hands clean. Can you put your hands out, Jensen? And then rub your hands together. Show the other kids how to rub your hands together. There you go. You rub them together just like that. And that'll help keep your hands clean. Now, you know what I should probably do, Jensen? Since you're such a good helper, you guys think I should give Jensen a prize? Jensen, you don't like prizes, do you? Would you like a prize? All right, let me see what I can find for you after I get Fred out of my shirt. Let's see, how about would you like a frog and toadstool guide and a turtle patch?
Aw.
There you go. You may take those prizes and go back to your seat. Thank you, guys. Please give them a round of applause for your assistance also. Now remember, guys, it is okay to touch some snakes, but it is not okay to touch every snake, because some snakes have that stuff that starts with the letter V. It is, some snakes have venom. Do they all have venom? Now, what about an eastern coral snake? Have you ever heard of a coral snake? Coral snakes are the most venomous species in the United States, more venomous than even the timber rattlesnake. If you guys saw me handling a coral snake, would that be okay for you to do it? So remember, guys, I'm going to be very careful. Sometimes they can be especially ornery right after they... Uh-oh. But don't worry, guys, I'm very careful. My coral snake has never bitten me. You guys will be able to tell, why is he not biting me? Can you tell? Why is he not going to get me? Can you tell? You don't think he's real? Oh yeah, you're right. So either it's really cold in here, or he's just another snake. But this is an exact replica, an exact life-size replica of the eastern coral snake. So that's exactly what his pattern would look like, exactly what size he would be. Now, does that one seem like it's moving around a lot to be a rubber snake? Let's take a closer look. Remember, guys, in my left hand, everyone say, I need my utmost concentration. Because in my left hand, I have the exact replica. In my right hand, is this one a replica? Is this one a... Oh. Is this one... I hope someone is videoing this. Something goes wrong, I can be famous on YouTube. Now wait, guys, I want you to remember, in my left hand is the exact replica. In my right hand, he looks very similar. Does he look exactly the same? No, he is a look-alike species. Everyone say look-alike species. He looks similar, but he doesn't look exactly the same. This is called a milk snake. Everyone say milk snake? And they're called milk snake because they like to drink. You think snakes really drink milk? No, they drink Diet Pepsi, but they got the name milk snake. I'm teasing, really they drink water, but they got the name milk snake because farmers would find them in the barn. Farmers thought they were in the barn drinking milk from the chickens. Wait a minute, milk from the cows. And so that's the real name, milk snake, or the real reason milk snakes got their name. You think that is fact or fiction, that they drink milk from cows? That is fiction. It's not true. It was completely false, but they still got that name. Now guys, the timber rattlesnake, if you would put it on a scale, would actually be the heaviest snake in Pennsylvania. Is it the longest? It is not the longest. Timber rattlesnakes are the heaviest, but the longest one is also one of the most handsome, one of the most fun to photograph. It is not venomous. It is a completely harmless snake. You might be able to put a couple pinholes in your skin, but it would not put you to hospital. This is a snake. Does anyone know what it is? This is what's commonly called a black snake, or a black rat snake, or maybe an eastern rat snake. There are a few different names for the rat snake, but I'll bet you guys can all guess. Rat snakes like to eat... Wait, rat snakes like to eat what? Rat snakes eat a lot of rats. How many of you guys like to eat rats? But one rat snake will impact thousands. Everyone please say thousands. One rat snake will impact thousands of rodents. How many of you guys would rather have thousands of mice going through your cupboards? Yeah, would that be kind of gross? We live next to a farm, and so we get lots of rodents in our house. Or not lots, we get a handful of them, especially in October, right as it gets cold, they want to come in our house. And we wish we had rat snakes, but we don't live in rat snake habitat. If you live in rat snake habitat, one single rat snake will impact thousands, everyone say thousands again, thousands of rodents. Does that sound like an important snake to have in Pennsylvania? They are very important. They're called the black rat snake, one of my favorite snakes. They are the longest one in Pennsylvania. Now, they are
Very
not
cool black snake,
the
buddy.
longest one in the world. There are 3 very big snakes in the world. Would you guys like to meet some of those? In the world, we have 3 very big snakes. One of them starts with the letter A. It is an anaconda. One of them starts with a B. It is a boa constrictor. One of them starts with a P. It is a
python.
Anacondas, boas, and pythons are some of the biggest, longest, and strongest snakes in the entire world. Would you guys like to meet some? All right, well, we're going to start by meeting a Colombian boa constrictor. How many of you guys have ever read a story called The Day Jimmy's Boa Ate the Wash? Has anyone ever read a Jimmy's Boa story? That is a great boa constrictor book.
Wow. Oh, he's beautiful. He is.
Doc. Doc is a real boa constrictor. Everyone say, what's up, Doc? Doc is a real boa constrictor, and boa constrictors have a special way of catching their food. How do they catch their food? Does anyone know? They wrap around their food and squeeze. I'll do an exercise to help you guys remember. I will say, how does a boa catch their food? You guys put your arms around your friends, give them a big hug, and say squeeze. How do boas catch their food? They wrap around their friends and squeeze. It's kind of a messy life being a boa constrictor. Can you imagine, guys, if you're having lasagna, if you had to give it a hug first? Maybe some taco salad, but you had to wrap it around and squeeze it. That's famous gravy. Now, guys, we're getting to the end of the show already. How many of you guys have been having fun learning about animals today?
Oh, he's putting the gloves on.
A couple big lizards here
Lizard?
at the end. And before long, guys, we're going to maybe have a couple minutes for questions. You can touch a snake, and then before long, I'm going to need to go back to Lancaster County to live with all the Amish people. And after I leave, you guys have to stop learning about reptiles. No, because the best way to learn about reptiles is to open a book. Do you see any reptile books anywhere in this room? Guys, look at that table over there. You know, we visit libraries all over Pennsylvania. In some libraries we go to, and you cannot even find the reptile books in there. But you guys see what Miss Nina and the library staff did today? They went and pulled a bunch of the reptile books out just so you guys can find them. And to borrow those books, it's like, what, $20 or $30? It's free. If you guys have a library card, you can check out any of those books. So be thinking about which books you're going to check out as we read these next ones. Guys, I see there's one book over here about Komodo dragons. You see this book right here has Komodo dragons on it? They are the biggest lizard in the world. Oh, here's another one about Komodo dragons. Biggest lizards in the world. And Komodo dragons come from a family of lizards called monitor lizards. Would you like to meet a monitor lizard? This is a cousin of the Komodo dragon called the Savannah monitor lizard. And just like the Komodo dragons, they have a long tongue.
Wow.
Now, when I bring him out in the audience, just look, don't touch please. But when I bring him out, sometimes he likes to stick out his tongue. There it goes. Just like a snake, he's using his tongue to show his sense of humor. He says, nah, 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 nah. Now that's his sense of smell. And so he uses that long forked tongue to say, you know where I could get some mice for breakfast? Or say, excuse me, do you know where I could get some French fries and superworms? Because he would love to eat things like bugs and eggs and small animals. That is what monitor lizards like to eat. They are meat eaters, so they need a great sense of smell. They would use that tongue to be able to find their lunch. But now we're going to meet another lizard that comes from South America. I'm actually excited. Later on this week, we get to go down to Guatemala for about 8 days. I'm hoping to see some of these lizards down there. This is called a green iguana. You find them all throughout Central and South America. They are a herbivore. That means they are a plant eater. Should we wake her up, see if she's hungry to eat some plants? This is our green iguana. Green iguanas love to eat plants. Does she look like she's hungry? Does she look like she's a little grumpy? Sometimes it cheers her up when she can have some grapes for breakfast. In the wild, green iguanas spend a lot of time up in the trees. They may spend most of their life eating leaves. They may spend most of their lives eating leaves. But they love to eat fruit as a special treat. Now they are excellent climbers. Would you guys like to see her climb around a bit? Let me use these gloves because she has sharp claws.
Oh, you're a big one.
It's not uncommon for me to have big scratch marks on my arm because green iguanas are sharp claws and they're very good at holding on. In fact, who's holding who? Am I holding her? Or is she holding me? She's holding me. You see, as she climbs around, that tail is a giant balancing beam. She goes one way, the tail goes the other. And that helps her hold on. That way, if the wind blows in the rainforest, do all the iguanas fall? Well, they've got a great sense of balance. How many of you guys love to climb trees? Raise your hand. How many of you guys would like to climb trees full time? That's what it's like being a green iguana if you live in the South American rainforest. They're the same colors as surrounding. They have excellent camouflage, so they can spend almost their entire lives high up in the rainforest canopy. Well, guys, we have one animal left on this table, and I hope we're getting to all four families. Have we seen all four reptile families yet? Maybe you guys can say it with me. Snakes, lizards, turtles, and crocodilians. Which ones do we still need to see yet? Would you guys like to meet a crocodilian species?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, here's what we'll do. I will take my crocodilian species out. Before I do that, I need to fold up his reptile diaper, because sometimes he likes to express himself. But when you guys get a chance to meet this crocodilian species, you guys can try to guess if he's an alligator or a crocodile. Because when I say crocodilian, that's a whole family of alligators, crocodiles, and their cousins. So it could actually be a couple different kinds of animals. Now I need to be very careful. Which end do you think is safest to pick them up by, the head or the tail? There's actually a lot less teeth on the tail, but I've got to pick him up right behind the arms because he has a 180-degree radius with those teeth.
That's a croc.
Everyone say hi to Bacon, please. Who thinks Bacon is an alligator? Who thinks Bacon is a crocodile?
Croc.
Well, there are some ways to tell them apart. One way is to look at the teeth. Can everyone see his teeth pretty well?
Ooh.
Could I have one more volunteer? Who would like to reach in and count Bacon's teeth for us? Wait, doesn't that sound like a good idea? Should we give a demonstration? Would you guys like to see what would happen if we did get too close? Here we go. I will take one of our Pennsylvania wildlife field guides, and it's going to move closer. Wow. You know, I think Bacon really likes this book. Have you guys ever picked up a good book and you just couldn't put it down? He just can't put it down. He actually has a part-time job in an office working as a stapler. But as you can see, guys, he does have a powerful bite, so it's good that we don't try to count the teeth with our hands, because we can only do that twice in our life, once with each hand. There's a better way to tell them apart. Look at the shape of the snout. It is round like the letter U. That tells us that Bacon is he's an alligator. He's an American alligator, the largest reptile species in North America.
Oh, I thought you were a
Bacon
croc.
is a baby or a grown-up. He's very little. Actually, as a baby, he's only about 5 or 6 inches long. But you know, even as a tiny baby, they can be powerful and dangerous. Now, do you think by themselves they're very dangerous? By themselves, they could pinch you, they could maybe break the skin, but they would not do a lot of damage. But you know what their superpower is? Ever try going... Everyone try that. So baby alligators start chirping just like that, and then what happens next? Here comes... Yeah, I'm going to have to sell this one at a discount. And then here comes Mama. Mama alligator is never far away from her babies for about the first year. She's very protective. And when the babies start chirping, Mama is right there. Is that pretty cool? How many of you guys like when your mom's there to protect you? How many of you guys like it when your mom picks you up even sometimes? My 2-year-old son loves being picked up. How many of you guys like it when your mom picks you up in her teeth? That's how the mommy alligators do it. Sometimes they even use these powerful jaws that open the eggs if the eggs are having trouble. Pass it over the road. Well, guys, I've had a lot of fun visiting with you guys. I love coming to Williamsport whenever I get a chance to visit up here. Being from Lancaster County, it's a far drive, but I really enjoy coming up here. It's a very beautiful town, and you guys really are a lot of fun to be with. Like I say, you guys are the funnest group I've been with all week yet. But even though we can only learn about reptiles for a little while before the reptiles have to go home, how is it that you guys can keep learning about reptiles the rest of the week, the rest of the summer? You just open a book. You keep reading about reptiles, and maybe one day you guys can have a fun animal job. How many of you guys would like to work with animals when you grow up? Guys, the best way to learn about animals, to work with animals one day, is to read lots of books. So start reading as much as you can, and then one day you guys will have a choice of working a fun reptile career. Like I forgot for reptile sanctuary. Well, guys, stay seated, please, especially if you're small mammals. Stay seated. And I'm going to show you, this is my last reptile species. It's called an albino Burmese python. The Burmese python is one of the largest snakes. Don't watch out, people. Oh boy, he's got a heavy. He's one of the largest species of snakes in the entire world. Would you guys believe me if I told you he could get 2 or 3 times as big? Do you think I'm pulling your leg? Do you think he's pulling my leg? He can grow to be about 200 pounds.
Wow.
Right now he's not even quite 75. So he's got a long ways to go. Would that make him the world's biggest if he was 200 pounds? The world's biggest is the anaconda. The anaconda can grow 500 pounds. How many of you guys are glad you don't have 500-pound snakes on your back porches? But do you think even 500-pound anacondas are important on planet Earth? There's an animal that lives next to the anaconda. It's called the capybara. If you go down to Venezuela or Peru, you may run into capybara. If you do, you should either have a really good saddle or a really big mousetrap, because they are a 100-pound rodent. You know, guys, if we had 100-pound rats here in Pennsylvania, do you think we would wish we had some anacondas in the Susquehanna? Yeah, I think so too. So it's important to remember, guys, every single animal has an important job here on planet Earth. Whether we like them or not, they are out there doing important jobs every day. Well, I hope you guys had a lot of fun learning about animals today. If you think it is fun to learn about animals, say reading is cool.
Reading is cool.
Oh, that's pretty good, but I'll bet you can say it louder than that. Guys, I hope you had a lot of fun today. What we're going to do now is get towards the end of the program. And so we can take a couple questions about the reptiles. Then we can let you guys line up if you'd like to touch a reptile. Also, if you guys would like to
go up there if you want to touch one.
To bring some books home, let me just go over a couple options. All the library books that are on those tables, you can check out with your library card. We also have some free handouts that are on that table that you can pick